Welcome to the Birth and Truth podcast, where our guests spill their unvarnished, honest, and naked truth.
I'm Courtney Elaine.
I'm your boy, Black Bluez. Courtney, what set you claiming?
I am claiming creativity. I'm in a creative mood
Creativity.
right now. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
What about you?
The set I'm claiming right now is refresh and renewed.
And you're looking, your skin is glowing. Oh, is that Maybelline?
No, this is not Maybelline. Maybe
That's
I was just born with it. Okay.
is it melanin? Just melanin?
It's melanin. What's making you feel creative?
I don't know. You know how you just have those little bursts of creativity? I
Right.
just I'm just feeling more creative today. So I've been kind of working all day editing videos and for my YouTube channel and yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm in that
that's what's up.
spirit.
Right. Well, I had a revelation this weekend that I need to take care of myself. And so that's why I feel refreshed and renewed,
Yeah.
hydrating. So I've been drinking lots of water. So maybe that's what this is.
That's what it is.
Girl, I
Self-care
got some.
Sunday.
Okay, got my water right here. And I should have labeled. But then also I got my little Pepsi right here, but I ain't drank that much of it.
What in the world?
I needed to burp.
You need to put that Pepsi up, bro. What in the world?
uh,
Oh,
how funny
Lord.
is that? Well, I'm glad that you are creating.
And I'm glad that you're taking care of your body.
Okay.
Self-love, self-care.
Self-love. Gotta take care of your body because ain't nobody gonna take care of it for you.
That's the truth.
Okay.
Like we on our own with that one.
We are
Shoot.
definitely on our own. Unless we go to the doctor and they get the feeling and touching all on things and
Yeah, but
uncomfortable stuff.
that's only just for like a moment of time. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's ultimately your responsibility now. Mama can only do so much. So now those days are over where mama
Right.
come in and take care of you. You got to take care of yourself. Self-care
Right.
Sunday.
Self-care Sunday, even though if I need it, all I gotta do is and Miss V gonna be over here. You know what I'm saying? Was that my notification?
Oh
Ghetto.
yes, yes.
Ghetto. Okay, that won't
You
happen
need to be
again.
on do not disturb. Do not
Too funny.
disturb. All right, so we'll have a quote for you. You
Hmm.
ready? This is a good one. Do question even the basics. You will be a fool once. If you don't, you will be for a lifetime. Mm.
Who said that?
Aha!
Who,
Aha!
who, who made
Baby.
that quote?
Shall. Uh,
I know. It it looked like him malicious. It looked like him malicious said it, but I don't know who that
I,
is.
it do look like him malicious, but you know what? I was trying not to look like a fool trying to say his name. So, child, just look it up, honey. I can't.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We gave
Shit,
you the quote. You do the
that's all
rest.
you need. Do your research. Get your
Right.
GED, okay? Because that's what this is leading us to. It's leading us
Right.
into our GED segment, our Google Education Degree segment, where you find out what we Googled. So, what was the last thing you Googled?
So I try to go to sleep at night because I have to get up early to teach on summer camp. So I was wondering, and I had like allergies going on. So I wanted to take Benadryl, but I also wanted to take Mucinex. So Benadryl was gonna help me go to sleep and it helped with the allergies. Then the Mucinex was gonna loosen everything up. And I was trying to make sure that I could take it and then, not wake up all confused and can't even teach the class.
Or not wake up dead.
Not wake up dead. So
Oh
come
my
come
God.
come to find out, you can indeed take them together. It has not been proven that something will happen, but
Oh
then
God.
it also said it has not been proven that something won't happen.
Oh Lord. So
So,
you have nothing. You have nothing to work with.
well, no, I did it, and
Oh,
I'm here.
well, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
So if you
So
ever,
dumb.
so if you ever want to take your Benadryl and your Mucinex, go and do it.
Go on, do it.
I'm a
It's all
living
good.
witness. I'm a living witness.
Oh, he's a living testimony.
Hmm.
Thank God you're still alive.
So what you got your GED in?
Oh my gosh. So I got my GED in the or a different world, taking on the LA riots on one of the episodes. So someone that I went to high school with had posted something on Facebook, and he was basically kind of recording the episode, and he was actually watching it at the time. And it was the episode where Dwayne and Whitley had gotten married and they were going on a honeymoon, and it happened to be right in the midst of the LA riots. And he said something on his post like, what did he say? He said something about how it was kind of foreshadowing of what was going to happen now in 2020. And then I was like, that is not foreshadowing, because that actually happened. You know what I mean?
Right. That was
And I
actually an event that happened back then.
absolutely. So I was like, I didn't know if he said it wrong or if he was misinformed or what, but I felt like it was one of those situations where I needed to say something. So I didn't want to come to him and be misinformed. I felt like I knew what I was talking about, but I needed to get my GED on that before I went to
Right.
him and be like, well, this is what it is and this is what it isn't. So I
Right.
went online to Google it and, got the information. So basically, in 1991, Rodney King was beat by the police. And in 1992, it was a new season of A Different World. And so they used their platform to speak about what happened with Rodney King. And they went through a whole, trial, whatever. And the cops that beat him, they were not guilty. They were found not guilty for, the crime. So the effect of it was the LA riots. And so, like I said, the producers at A Different World chose to use their platform to speak about what was happening. So that's what I got my TV in.
All right, girl, you graduated magna cum laude.
Holla, giving
Ugh.
birth, giving birth.
All right. So that's how we got our GED. And if you get a chance, go in the comments and let us know what you got your GED in. What's the last
Yeah.
thing that you Googled or something that you didn't know? You Googled and looked it up, and now you is smart, you is kind, you is important.
You is
Did you see my earrings
important.
you saw my earrings when I did that, Courtney?
Is that what it is?
You see?
Are
This
you
the
doing the most?
pineapples.
Oh, I thought those were pearls.
No.
Oh Lord. Pineapples and that's your hair.
Was that is that a dig?
No.
Oh,
Just
well,
got, you know
thank
how the
you.
top of the pineapple kind of stick up?
There you go.
That's what this is doing.
A different language is a different vision of life. That's a quote by Federico Fellini. Is that right? Federico Fellini.
Fellini.
Fellini. So he says a different language is a different vision of life. I like that quote. This brings us to our Who Said That
Who
segment where we
said
figure out who
that?
said that. We try to figure out the origin of old school phrases in an effort to keep the golden language alive. So what you got for me, Coco?
What I have for you is a leopard can't change its spots.
Oh, what that mean?
Aha! That means one cannot change their innate nature. That's a
Mm.
word. That's a powerful word. It's
It's
so
almost like a
powerful.
it's almost like a curse though.
It is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Like you're telling me you a liar and you that's just what you're gonna be.
That's just what you are. That's just your character.
Oh my
Use a
God.
lie.
And I can't change that. You ain't nothing and you ain't never gonna be nothing.
Use a lie, and the truth ain't in you.
So where did this come from though?
It comes from the word.
Oh, it comes from the Holy Bible.
It comes from the Holy Bible, and it derived from Jeremiah 13:23, just so you can go look it up and get your GED, right? So basically, in Jeremiah 13:23, the Hebrew prophet Jeremiah had originally said, "Can an Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard its spots?" He raised that question.
Oh.
Hmm.
So in that way, because being a liar is not innate, it's something that's learned.
It's something that's learned. Yeah.
Right. So if something's innate, it's my skin or me
Hmm.
being born male and feeling like that's I was assigned the right gender.
Right.
That's innate. Oh, now
So when
this makes
somebody
so much
says
sense.
that you are a liar and the truth ain't in you, they are basically saying that you were born that way. You were born a liar. That's
Then
horrible.
I right. And now if somebody say that to me, we're gonna have some problems. Smoke. You hear me? I'm not doing that. We're not gonna do that.
That's disrespectful. Very
Right.
disrespectful.
Get on up.
Trifling.
Get up off my thing. That sounds some James Brown. You're not gonna do that to me, okay? So another one is letting someone off the hook.
Hmm.
So this means not holding someone responsible for something.
Hmm.
So that kind of makes sense. That's what I thought it meant. Like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go ahead, let you off the hook. But then you
Hmm.
think about it kind of makes sense, but then you think about, wait a minute, why is it off the hook, right? So the
Right.
phrase alludes to a fish freeing itself from a fish hook, avoiding being caught. And so they say it originated in like the mid 1800s. So when you go and you fishing, you fish with your dad, huh?
Well, I sat there and I took pictures while he fished.
Uh, oh, I went fishing in PE class one time. I ain't catch no fish though. But
Oh,
sometimes, yeah, you throw the I don't even know what the thing called. Just
the
throw the
fishing
thing,
rod.
the fishing rod. You throw the fishing rod into the thing, and then sometimes you'll feel a tug. You start to bring it up, but then there's no fish there, and the little night crawler is gone that you done put on there.
You said you throw the little fishing rod into the thing. You ain't learned nothing on that fishing trip.
I mean, it was a pond, a lake. It was something that had fish in it though.
Oh my God. Yeah, that one is pretty straight to the point if you think about it.
Right.
That's a well, I mean, I guess it would only be straight to the point if you thought about fishing in the first place, you know?
Right.
But I
Yeah.
guess that's kind of where my mind went, when you first said it to a fish.
Well, you know where my mind went? You know how when on Apollo, when Sandman come out there and he got that little hook when you can't sing, and then he
Yeah,
like that. So I always thought of that, and then giving you mercy by not doing that to you. So I let you off the
right.
hook, even
What
though you can't
is that
sing.
thing?
A hook.
Is that what that was?
Maybe it's a cane. Maybe it's a cane. I don't know. But yeah, I was
You
scared
gonna
of
have me
Sandman.
Googling that.
That's gonna be the next one, right?
You gonna have me Googling that. I cannot.
Right.
So the next thing is cost an arm and a leg. Has your mama ever said that?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's hilarious because it literally means it signifies something being exuberant in price, like it's just overly priced. And
Right.
when people say that, they say it in that tone.
Right.
So
Because my mama be like, I'm about to buy that. That costs an arm and a leg.
yeah, so you can be like I remember hearing it in childhood, and it's like to hear that it's like you may not know the concept of money as a child, but when you hear something like that and it's really that tone that they say it in, it makes you say like, oh, okay, well shoot, I guess I can't have that. Maybe one day, maybe
Right.
Monday.
Because to sacrifice your arm and your leg just to get something, then how you gonna function throughout the rest? That's how I thought about it. How am I
Yeah,
gonna
without that.
function without this arm and this leg? This is something that I need. So I'm not gonna spend something that I need on. See, I was a
Yeah.
thoughtful little child. I
Yeah, you
thought
like,
that
oh,
out.
I can't get my arm and my leg for that. Mm-mm.
Right.
No, especially when it's some lemon heads or something.
Right. So where does the phrase come from?
It comes from after the Civil War, Congress enacted a special pension for soldiers, where if they lost a arm and a leg, then they received money for it. Yeah.
Wait. So they would what had to happen?
You had to go to war and lose an arm and a leg, or an arm or a
Oh my
leg,
God.
and that was how they repaid you, with a check,
No, now see.
a disability check.
No, now see, you got to come to me and you got to bring me another arm and another leg that I can, even if it's robotic or something, I'm gonna need my stuff. I don't want no check.
Well, I guess they do that to an extent too.
Oh,
Yeah.
child, I don't
Now
know.
I don't really know if it falls under the disability check, but it's saying specifically a pension for those who have lost an arm or leg in the Civil War. So that's when it,
My
it began.
my goodness, I would that's why I see I would never fight in no war. Don't they better not do no
Yeah,
draft. I'm too old for a draft
yeah,
now though, I think.
yeah. Either way, it's never been something that I was the least bit interested in, especially since my dad was in the Navy. So
Right. Cause
yeah,
I'm on some war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. War,
you better say.
I had seen that. So another one is let sleeping dogs lie. Um,
Hmm.
I want to talk about that, but the meaning of it is it's used to warn against stirring up trouble. So in the 13th century, a popular proverb alluded to waking up a fierce watchdog and causing trouble. So it's like let the sleeping dog lie. Don't cause no trouble.
Don't wake him
Um,
up.
yeah, don't wake him up. What I used to think when I heard "Let Sleeping Dogs Lie," I don't know why. I thought they meant lie as in not tell the truth.
Liar, yeah,
And so I
yeah.
just really didn't know what that meant. But now I do. Let
Now
sleeping
you,
dogs lie.
now you are informed, honey.
Right. Don't stir up now,
Informed.
piece of trouble. I
Not,
don't know.
not a one.
Not a one piece of trouble. And
Not a
that
one.
there is who said that?
Who said that? Our guest today is a media correspondent, a radio host, and an actress. She would like you to know that she loves scarves. She's working on her own script, and she is annoyed with the killing of Black people.
Amen, amen. I would like y'all to welcome Nicole Crump. Nicole, it's good to see you. We're gonna start out by asking you to claim your set. Let us know how you feeling. What
Um,
set you rep?
what set I rep, like right now, like what I'm feeling, period, about life or what? What we talking?
Mm-hmm.
Life? Oh,
Yep.
life is cool. So the set I'm claiming is prosperity, abundance, confidence, and just walking in my truth. That's what I'm claiming right now. So I mean, I'm excited about it, and it's been 2020 has been a rough year, but a blessed year. So yeah, I'm claiming.
Right. Me and Courtney has discussed how we feel like we've been getting paid to take naps. So
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
basically.
Yeah. You still going to work
Right.
though. You still at the office every day,
I
right?
I am considered an essential worker. So y'all know them
Right.
been on my nerves. I do work in property management, have been for 15 years. But they get on my nerves. So essential is what they call us. Because we provide shelter. But some of these folks about to be out on their ass. Cause they COVID gave them the order to not pay rent. So guess what? I can't wait till August get here.
Well,
Wow.
she say August. Listen, my apartments, they're doing this thing like they're not even there. Like I have to call them, set up an appointment to go see them about anything.
Hmm. We're doing the same thing. We're doing the same
Right.
thing. Um, I just think it's this whole situation has really been frustrating in a way. It's been a blessing, but it's also been frustrating. And I know some people have been furloughed from their jobs. Some people have been, laid off and whatnot. But some people are taking advantage of the situation. Some are, you know, and you can see through some of these folk that's trying to play. But the good thing is, what I do like about the industry that I'm in for my 9 to 5 is that the companies, I wouldn't have thought in a million years that they would help the residents on how they're helping the residents, but to see that they're working with payment plans, or they're not offering late fees and things like that. It's been a learning experience for everybody, for the office staff and the residents. So
Cool, cool,
Wow.
cool. I'm so good on my notifications going off in the middle of your thing. Um,
Again.
so, wisdom is found only in truth. That's a quote from Joanne Wolfgang.
mhm.
So, this brings us to our truism segment where we discuss the things that affect our community,
Mhm.
and that is the true root. So, today's truisms addresses the killing of Black people,
Mhm.
the Black Lives Movement, and its importance, right?
Mhm.
So, this year, February 23rd, we have Ahmaud Arbery getting hunted down in the streets by
Yep.
those white niggas,
Mhm.
and they just kill him. It took to May 7th for them to make an arrest.
Mhm.
Breonna Taylor, March 13th. The officer has not been charged yet, and was just fired like not too long ago from March 13th. George Floyd, March 25th, and it took like a week for the first arrest. Um, and with the Breonna Taylor case, the FBI decided they were going to investigate. So at the same day that they decided to go in and investigate, the police chief decides to announce his retirement at the end of June. But they had put in place that they need to wear their body cams. So since something happened where they didn't wear their body cams after they asked them to, they went ahead and removed him June 1st. But he announced his retirement like, oh, I'm getting out of here if they're going to investigate this, which lets you know that they're doing stuff wrong.
Right.
Right? How do y'all feel about it taking so long to even make an arrest?
In which case? In Ahmaud Arbery or Breonna Taylor?
Right, either case. So it's just seeming like that's a trend.
So I think for me, with and I'm here in Georgia, where Ahmaud 4 hours away. 4 hours away. Here's the thing. I think with the Ahmaud Arbery case, had they not had COVID not happened, we probably wouldn't have known about it. You know, I don't think it would have been as publicized as it is now. You know, I feel that with the Ahmaud Arbery case, I think a lot of the Black people here in Georgia, we were on there, you know, as a whole, and I'm not talking about just Atlanta. We were definitely, people here were on their asses about making an arrest. You hunt a man down. You know, you had an accomplice who was this Roddy guy. You know, you hunt this child down because he's Black. So for me, them making an arrest, I'm happy that an arrest was made in that case. It shouldn't have taken that long, because had the shoe been on the other foot and it was a white person, that Black person would have been done, COVID or not.
Right. And that Black person probably would have been dead when
the
police was called. Right.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor, it's crazy. You can't even sleep in your home. You can't even go to sleep in your home and have somebody come in there and kill you. It reminds me of the Both and John case in Dallas a little bit like that.
Right.
House minding his business, and it's almost like Black people, we're not safe anywhere, and it does not make sense to me. It just don't make sense to me. George Floyd, this man come to find out knew him. They worked together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So oh my God, to see that you had some type of malice towards this man, to stay on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 damn seconds. You know, that's ridiculous to me. And honestly, I talked to somebody about this on another podcast. Listen, had it been me, it's different, but had it been me and I would have been there, I probably would have been a hashtag, because ain't no way I would have sat there and let this happen. Police or not. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane that Black men and Black women lives have no value in this country. And a lot of us are from here. We were born here. It's our country just like it's theirs. So,
right. I like to say it's our country more than it's theirs, because we the one who built this for free.
Absolutely.
And still ain't got paid. You're going to give me $1,200, talk about do what you can with it. Or going to say, Barack Obama was president, so now y'all don't need reparations.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, that's how they talk, and it's such a crazy divide, and that's what we're starting to see. We are of a particular age, you know, and when we came up, racism was kind of secret. Mm-hmm. It was hush hush. Somebody would do something to you, but then other people would kind of chastise them for, like, oh, I can't believe you did that. That's racist, you know? And then after the Trayvon Martin thing and Barack Obama becoming president and all of that, racism started to keep coming. And then it got to the point that it was rolling so hard that we have February 23rd, March 13th, May 25th, like boom, boom, boom. And it's like they didn't care because they felt like we weren't going to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we did. How do y'all feel about the protests?
I'm loving it. I've had a chance to experience some of them here in Georgia. I feel like the protesting, I feel like at this point of dealing with the racism, it's more publicized now because social media and these cell phones and all that stuff is, everybody got it. So I feel, to me, that there is a shift that has taken place in the Black community, in our culture, and we fed up. And like the meme say, I posted it a couple weeks ago. I am not my great grandparents. I am not my grandparents. Get your ass beat. You know how I feel. But I do feel like there is a shift. I feel like now people get it. Most people get it now for me, and that's worldwide. That no, in any other killings that has happened, we have not seen Germany protest. We have not seen New Zealand protests, Paris protests. It's global now, and it took somebody like George Floyd to die, for people to get it, and for most of us to realize that we have to come together because we have to be cohesive at some point. At some point, this shit gotta stop. At some point, because it's either them or us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. I was kind of I don't feel like I don't have an issue with the protesting. I think I had an issue more with the rioting. And then my overall view of things was, if we're going to do something, we can do the protesting, we can do the rioting, but what is the plan? Like, what do we do after that? And I think that's what I really got caught up in. I think everybody was so upset that they wanted to do something right then, and that was the protesting and that was the rioting. But my whole thing was, what do we do after that? Like,
Yeah.
pose that
One
question. What do we
thing,
do after that?
well, I wanna back up about the writing. One thing that I kind of thought of was, it's still, even with the looting, even though it was more than Black people doing the looting and all of that stuff and breaking the stores, but what kind of place have you left us in that we feel like it's such a thing to get something for free? Because it's probably something that we can't even get or afford with the money that we're being paid. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, let me run off up in here and grab these Jordans real fast because I can't afford them, you know? So, but what do we do after this? I don't think, like you said, it should be strategically done. And I don't think that we should let up, because sometimes in the past we have protested, we have marched, we have power to the people, Black Lives Matter, our throats off. And
Yeah.
then we just sit at home and wait for them to do it again.
Right.
But coming up with a plan, like you said, one of the big things that get white people attention is messing with their money.
Absolutely.
That that's how
Absolutely.
the looting, in my opinion, not the protests. I feel like the looting is what got them to say, "Oh, we better do something," because if not, we gonna look up and they gonna be there fucked up the thing.
Oh Lord, we be watching too much Funky than Eva.
I think the next step after this, we definitely have to, and I know for me in Georgia, this portion of what I feel has passed as far as registering to vote and voting. We had our preliminaries and things like that. Register to vote. I also believe that right now I'm writing a petition right now to get legislation passed for some of the laws that we don't lack here in Georgia. Like we don't have a citizens arrest law, you know, which I think could have prohibited Ahmaud Arbery's death had we had that in place. We don't have a hate crime law here, which I think could have prevented that as well. We don't have those. People are going to do them. People are going to break laws. But if you have laws that are extensive enough to let them know if they commit a crime that they will be locked up for life, I think a lot of times that would help a lot of the crime rate go down as far as hate crimes. Citizens arrest, to me, I think that's something stupid, you know, because you have people who feel like they're George Zimmerman. You have people who feel like that they are the McMichaels, that where they can go around and they can, you know, patrol their neighborhood, you know, quote unquote, patrol their neighborhood and kill innocent people. I think that should be a law that should be passed to where residents shouldn't be able to hold anybody in custody until the police get there. It would eliminate a lot of things. And let's not even get on these damn suicide hangings that we got going on. Like, that's a whole nother different level of just hate to me. That's a whole nother different, and I'm like, you know, somebody said on Facebook, don't know Black people, we don't hang ourselves. Fuck out of here. We don't hang ourselves. Find another way, you know, because that we don't do.
One of the cases, the police has come up with some kind of video, and they have convinced the family that the man actually committed suicide. And I'm like, I just read that, and the family is going along with it. They said after they saw some video that the police showed them, now they believe that their loved one actually committed suicide.
For
and
what?
I just think it's some. Say it again.
Which case was that for?
It's one of them that was in California.
Okay, the one in California. Okay.
Yeah, because there's two in California. One has been convinced. So.
Wow.
Right. And I wanna rewind to when you were talking about registering to vote, actually getting out to vote, and actually knowing what you're voting for, and knowing those people.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can have some kind of little small group meetings where we educate each other on who this person is, what they stand for, because a lot of us just go in there and say, Democrat.
Right.
Boom, I'm done. And
Right.
we want to educate ourselves and know exactly what it is that we are voting for. And because that hurts us too, just going in there voting straight Democrat.
Right. You're right.
Absolutely.
Right.
They actually do that at my church. They have people come in and talk about, you know, what they're running for and things like that. So that's the most information that I've gotten from voting was from my church. Yeah.
Right.
And we got to look at it as a lot of times we research a lot of stuff. We research how to do our makeup. We research how to do our hair. We research how to play video games. We research what the hell our iPhones be doing. We need to do the same, take that same energy and vote. Because a lot of them be lying and they get in office and they flip the script.
You are so right. You are so right.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna do this just so I can go in there and vote for them. Then they get in there, you looking like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, beans. And that there is the truth roof.
We have entered our Spill the Truth segment. Nothing in the world is harder than speaking the truth. Nothing easier than flattery. That quote is by
Oh my God. So that looks like to say it's Fyodor Dostoevsky. I don't know. It'd be good quotes, but we can never say their name.
That has been the ongoing theme of this segment, of this whole episode. Every freaking quote that we have, we don't know how to pronounce the person's name who quoted in the first place.
Oh Lord, okay.
So, you know, it was a
but
good
it's
quote.
a good quote Good quote, nevertheless. Nevertheless.
Nevertheless.
So, Nicole, you must first take an oath.
Okay.
So repeat after me.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Even if my truth offends the people I love.
Even if the truth, I say that again.
Even if my truth offends the people that I love.
Even if my truth offends the people I love,
I promise to spill the whole truth.
I promise to spill the whole truth,
The buck to truth.
the buck tooth truth,
And nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth,
Because this is how it showed up in my life.
because this is how it showed up in my life.
All right.
We ask you 3 words to describe your past.
You told us timid, and Webster Dictionary say that is lacking in self-assurance, courage. I can't hardly say the word. Remember, courage, bravery, easily alarmed, timorous, or shy. You said you were unvalued, which means not considered to be important or beneficial. And you said afraid, worried that something undesirable will occur or be done. So, well, I'm just gonna jump into this kind of fun before we get into it. You say that you love scarves.
Mm-hmm.
How many different ways do you know how to tie those scarves? Because that lets me know that your scarf game is on point.
Scarves, I would say, I mean, there's many, many ways to wear scarves. You can wrap it on your head. You can wear it as a regular scarf. You can wear it as a head wrap. You can wear it around your neck. Different ways to wear it around your neck. You can wear it as a shirt. You can wear it as, I typically call it, my longer handkerchief. And I don't know if y'all seen some of my pictures, but I'll wear my scarf tucked in my pants to where it drags the floor, but it has to match my shoes. So it's so many different ways to wear scarves. So I would say about 10, I got about 10 to maybe 12 different ways I can wear a scarf.
Okay, yeah, you on that thing, because I got like 1 or 2. I have one I know, and then my niece taught me another one. So she might have to refresh me because I don't remember.
Oh my God. All right. So in your past, it seems as though you had low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that led you to that?
Having low self-esteem as a kid, I was molested, and I don't know if you guys know that, but I was for years, and that stemmed from part of why my self-esteem was so low as a kid. I was molested from ages 5 to 11 by my mom's boyfriend almost every night, other than my mom being off work. So if my mom was at work, it always happened. Or if I, made up some story to go to my grandparents' house, that's the only way that I could get away from it. So he devalued me, like he made me feel less than, he made me feel ugly. He made me feel like I was unworthy. And even as a child, I knew that wasn't right. I knew that was not right. I remember one particular time it happened, and it was specific dates that I can spot date remember. And I remember one time, I don't know if y'all remember Oprah having the conversation at Never Neverland with, is it Never Neverland with whatever Michael Jackson's place is?
Right.
Oh,
That's
the
Never
Neverland
Neverland.
branch.
Neverland, yeah.
Yeah.
She went to Neverland Ranch and she had an interview, and my siblings and I were super excited about watching Michael Jackson and watching Oprah do this interview with him. And at that particular time when that interview was taking place, I was being molested at that particular time by this man in front of my siblings, that they didn't even realize what was going on. So
Wow.
that was one. I remember, even my mom telling me about some things that happened. I guess he started earlier than 5, but I can only remember back to when I was 5.
Oh my God.
I was my mom came in on him with me across his lap, and I was bleeding from my vagina. And he told my mom that I had broke a piece of glass and shoved it up my vagina. To this day, I just don't believe
What?
possible. I don't believe that happened. I believe at that time, that's when he started.
Oh
And then
my
it was just
God.
the verbal abuse from then. And not only that, you guys have seen my appearance in the past. I had a gap with an overbite, and so I would always getting called names about, oh, you got buck teeth and you got a big forehead and you ugly, and this was from like, some of my siblings, some of my cousins. I got teased a lot growing up, so I didn't feel like I was worthy of love. I didn't feel like I was capable of even being the woman that I am today. So to me, that's why I was timid. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't, address anything. My mom didn't know about the molestation until I was about 11. And so I finally told her, because I just didn't know what was going on with my body. I started my cycle at 9, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was pregnant, and I hid my cycle from my mom for months. Months. She would find like my underwear, and she'll be like, who's bloody panties? And I'm like, I'm just frightened, because I just didn't know what was going on. And when he finally found out that I started my menstrual cycle, he told me in passing in the hallway of my mom's home that I was a woman now. I was a woman. And he tried after that.
Wow.
And it was rough. And come to find out, he just didn't molest me. He didn't molest any of my siblings, only me, but he did molest my neighbor and my friend. Come to find out,
Wow.
we were old. And so that's why I felt like that as a kid. So
Wow. Girl, how did you said you were 11, you said you thought you were pregnant. How did you know about pregnancy at such a young age?
we saw a lot. In
Okay.
my home. My mom was she was the best mom she knew how to be.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw a lot. Not only that, my mom's house was the drug house, so our house was raided by the police at times. And it was just a rough upbringing, to where we experienced a lot. We had people come in and out the house and things like that. And although we were dealing with that, we were still in church. We still went to church just like anything, like nothing ever happened. Come home to a home full of men who were drug users, and some were selling drugs. And I say the men because I say my uncles. They were my uncles who were these men. And my mom, she worked. We were on Section 8, but then she worked and paid as much as she could. But then it was just a lot that we saw as kids. And it was rough. It was rough.
Right. How did it make you feel to know that he didn't do it to any of your other siblings? Like, he chose you.
I didn't understand why he chose me. My sister was a motor mouth, so she talked a lot as a kid. I will say that I was retained in the first grade because I didn't speak a lot. And my teacher, she was like, I just feel like you need to hold it back, because if she would call me up to the chalkboard to do something, I would just sit there and almost piss myself. I was that terrified to move or to say anything, because I knew what I had to go home to. I went home to this every day. And it was just hard. It was hard to speak. It was for somebody to tell you at age 5, because when he started doing it, my mom was at work one night, and he came into the room, and I remember him, pulling pulling the covers off me. And I remember everything vividly. And my mom used to always say, hey, if anybody touch you, you let me know, you know. And my mom was a fighter. She was a tough woman. And so when he did it, I already knew then, because I knew what my mom instilled in me, to tell my mom. And he told me if I told her, he would kill me and her. So that silenced me for a long time. For a long time.
Wow.
Ooh. So would you
So
say
I
that
was,
that's where your fear that came from? It
Yeah.
was instilled by him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
right. Nicole, you kind of answered like 3 questions that I had for you
Yeah.
in that one thing. Wow. Because I was like gonna ask you who made you feel unvalued, and you know what experience led you to being timid. But it sounds like that is it indeed, unless there's something else that happened.
Um, that was one. I remember about 14, I was now by this time I had told my mom. I was 11 when I finally told her. She was at work. I got up one morning, he came in, it was summertime. By this time I started sleeping in my panties, my shorts, and jeans. I started sleeping in layers, so when he would come into the room, it would be hard for him to navigate my clothes down. And at that one time, I was just fed up. I was fed up. My brothers were in their room sleep with one of their friends. He was over spending the night. Me and my sister were asleep, and I remember it was the crack of dawn coming up, and he came into the room, and I just got fed up. I said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired. And I started creating a scene, and my sister started to wake up. And when I created the scene, he hurry up and left out the room. I went in my brother's room and I told my brother what was going on, my older brother, and he told me to go back in the room and wait. And when he came back in the room, he told me and my sister to, put on some shoes and stuff. And he took us to the neighbor house, and we stayed there till my mom got home. And I just blurted out to my brother everything that was going on. My brother he was heated. He was 15 at the time. So I didn't expect him to just overpower this grown man. But he did take up for me in that time. When my mom got home, I let my mom know what was going on. And my mom got out the car, and she ran into the house. As I was letting her know what was going on, she ran to the kitchen and got a knife, and she ran upstairs. And when she ran upstairs, I'm thinking she gonna beat his ass, she gonna kill him, he started yelling, I didn't touch her. I never touched her. And the words that came out of my mom's mouth was I don't know who to believe.
Oh man.
And at that point, I was like, okay, it's like my heart fell to the floor. We ended up going to my grandmother's house, got in the car and was going to my grandmother's house. And my grandmother was a real life Madea. She would shoot you. She didn't play, but my grandmother didn't know what was going on. But she told my mom she had a horrible feeling, like her spirit just didn't sit well with that guy, never had. And we got into the car, and I was like, I'm just going to tell my grandmother when I get to the house. And when we got in the car, my mom looked back at all of us, and she told me and my siblings, if we say anything to Madea, she will whoop our ass. And we already knew she would get us. So my grandmother went to her grave not knowing. My family finally found out when I was like 14, going on 15. And it was turmoil. Me and my mom's relationship, we mended right before she passed, maybe like a year or two before she passed. We kind of reconciled everything. But I didn't expect her to do a whole lot as of now. Like, I look back at it, because she was raped by her dad. So her biological dad. So I don't think she knew how to handle it. I think she was looking for love and just never found it.
Wow.
Nicole, I think
I know you.
the AC and stuff is getting to me. It's getting to my eyes and stuff. Well, me and Courtney
Oh
usually
my
have a
God.
word that we say What is it, Jello? Like
Jello,
when we're talking and it's too
cause
deep and we're about to get really emotional, we just change the subject and start talking about Jello.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got me, Nicole. Wow. Lord, Lord, Lord.
in all these
I'm just
years
gonna wipe
we've
my
been knowing
eyes.
you, we didn't we didn't know that. I thank you for being so open to share that truth on this platform, because that's heavy. That's very, very heavy. And I'm grateful that you did have the opportunity to reconcile with your mom before she left this earth. You know, I know that in some situations we don't get that closure. So it's a blessing that you had the opportunity to get that closure. Um,
Right. And I heard you earlier talk about your mom was the best mom that she could be. And sometimes we have to know that about our parents, you know, they're human and they do things according to what they've been through and their struggles. I was just watching a documentary with Next,
Mhm.
and they talked about how the two brothers in Next, their grandfather was the father of their oldest sister.
Wow. Wow.
And they didn't know that until their older sister passed away. They were
Wow.
already next. They was already singing, you know, baby, when we're grinding, I get so
oh, that
excited.
next.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
was
gosh.
on the stage singing about that, and they found out that their sister was their grandfather's daughter.
Wow. Wow.
Right. And I watched that today, and it was like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
Craziness.
daughters. So, with you having daughters, how did that experience affect you as a mother? Knowing what happened to you, what when you had children,
Mhm.
how did that affect things for you?
It was when I found out I was pregnant, I never wanted kids because of that. I
Oh
never
wow.
because of that. And when I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. Like I was terrified, and I felt like I don't believe in abortion. That's just me. I feel like if you lay there and make it, you gotta be woman and man enough to take care of it. That's just how I feel. And when my daughters were born, they were born pretty much back to back. Um, and I love my kids. I love them, and I would do anything to protect them. And as a mother, it has showed me that we're not perfect, but at the same time, I brought them here into this world. I have to protect them. And so I stress to my daughters all the time. My daughters know my story. They know what I've been through. I'm very open with them. Have I been a little bit overprotective as far as allowing them to go to people's homes and spend the nights and things like that? That I am. But they're older now. They're 17 and they're 18. And so I try to have a open relationship with them to, like, hey, I'm still your mom. I'm not your friend, but let me know what's going on with you. If anybody, what I do, what I will say, when I was a kid, I prayed to God. I told God, if I did have kids, protect and put a hedge of protection over my kids. And to this day, I ask my daughters all the time, hey, and I don't care, a lot of times we look for men to be molesters, but women are too, women
Absolutely.
Hmm.
are too. So if anybody, touches them, I try to let them know that's wrong, even as a kid. So luckily I feel blessed that they have people around them that love them and that care for them, and that would kill just as well as I would if anybody did that to them. So it's
Right. I know my mom is a victim of molestation, and one thing, she became overprotective of us to make sure that we did not go through that. And I remember having a babysitter who was a neighbor, and he was an older guy. He had to be in his 80s maybe, and my mom would pick us up from him, and she would routinely ask us, is he doing anything? Has he touched you inappropriately? Just to make sure that we had that open communication,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. And thank God I was blessed to not be molested. But I think that's because my mom was like, she's like,
Right.
Mama Bear, ain't
Right.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
So Nicole, name one person that has had a huge impact on your on who you are as a person.
One person who has had an impact on me as a I would have to say positive or negative.
It could be either one. You don't have to say their name. You can just say their relation to you.
Okay. A positive impact, I would say, I would have to say he get on my nerves sometimes, but it would probably be my older brother. He may not feel that way, but I look up to my older brother. And even in the time I needed him, every time I need him, he's always there for me. But even in that one particular time as a kid, when I called him, when I said, hey, this is going on, my brother fought for me. He fought for me, and I saw him struggle with the turmoil between my mom and my mom's relationship and my relationship. And it disappointed. He never said it, but I know he struggled with that. And so to see him, fight for me, I to me, he may not think it's a big deal, but it's a big deal for me. So I think he got me through a lot. As a kid, he kind of got me through a lot because I felt like he was my Theo. I used to call him Theo. I guess he was, he looked like Malcolm Jamal Warner to me. So he's the person who I think inspired me to just keep going, to keep going. So when he said it, and not be like, what?
Man, I always wanted a big brother growing up, I didn't get that. But I got to be the older sister, but I really wanted an older brother just for what you explained, having somebody to be there to protect you, be a friend, be that support system. I always wanted that. And, being the oldest child, you don't get that opportunity. But what are some of the things that you stand for? What's your golden rule?
My golden rule to me is be you and have integrity while doing it. That's my goal. It's been so much that has happened in my life to where now I'm very vocal. I try not to hold back anything, and I try to be respectful, but sometimes people, but having integrity, because, for me, integrity is doing what's right, even when people aren't looking, that's integrity to me. And so, always being you and being true to you. I'm learning as a woman to be true to me, and it a lot of times it hurt in the process because you feel like you're hurting people and you're disappointing people, but being true to yourself and having integrity while you're doing it, I think is golden.
I like that.
Right. So, what moment in your childhood was like that turning moment where you knew that the Nicole that we see today is who was going to emerge?
I knew as a little kid, so in the times that I was dealing with this gentleman and the molestation, I used to watch a lot of TV to get through it. And so I used to watch like the Cosby Show and watch, A Different World, and watch, the Jetsons and all these other shows. And I knew then I wanted to be an actress. I knew then. At that point, I didn't even know at that time that I was a singer. I didn't know that until I was like 7. But I knew then that I wanted to do that. And I remember one night when I was about 14. This was after everything had came out, and my whole family knew by then. My grandmother had passed, but like my whole family had knew about the molestation. I was laying in my room in the middle of the night, and this man was in the room. He was in the room with my mom. She still was with him for years after the fact when it came out. And I cried, and I was looking up at the sky, and God spoke to me that night, y'all. And I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual. I say that all the time. God spoke to me that night as a kid and showed me different things that I'm doing now. And I thought, I'm sleepy. All right, whatever. Let me just go to sleep, But God really came and said, I have greatness for you, and I never knew why, and I never understood why I was the only one that he molested. I didn't understand that. But the things that I'm doing now they've been prophesied to me through different people at different times, and to see it come to pass is like really, God. So I think, out of all my siblings, I feel like I'm the one who stepped out on faith and really followed the dreams and my heart's desire on what God is doing. And my siblings are cool. They all like, man, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I wouldn't have dared move to another state to pursue anything, but I feel like I am a leader for my siblings, Mm-hmm. Although I'm the oldest girl, I'm still next to the baby, but I feel like I'm a leader. So I think that's where yeah.
Wow. Girl, that's a testimony. That's a testimony, right? Girl, you almost had me over here. You got me all up in my feelings, Nicole, right now. As a mother of two beautiful children, if you started to see your past and how you felt in your past creep up into them, what advice would you give them? So if they begin to feel the insecurities, afraid, being timid, what advice would you give to them?
To not be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. You can't let people intimidate you. You can't let people silence your voice, because you never know who your voice could help. And my girls are, my oldest, she's very shy. She's very shy. And I tell her all the time, you got it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You're 18. You can start early,
Right.
confident, because you're beautiful. Don't let society make you feel like you're less than. And that's the advice that I try to give to both of them.
Right. And I heard you mention earlier, you was like, y'all saw me before, so y'all know how I looked. From the moment I saw you, I thought you were absolutely gorgeous. The moment I saw you, I was like, oh my God. You remember, I know you got a little man or whatever. But
how you
I
know her
remember
business?
I be paying attention on the Facebook.
Oh, you are nosy.
So I remember one time we were in Kroger and I looked over and I seen Nicole and I was like, oh my, who is that? And I said, oh my God, that's Nicole. I remember telling Courtney, I was so shy. I was like, hi, Nicole.
I remember that.
I told your business too on that one. I had to tell her about that. You are crazy.
I was like, oh my God, who is this? I'm like, oh, looking. Lord, I was like, I know her.
Like that's my doggone friend.
Right, that's my friend. Lord Jesus.
Oh Lord, you are crazy. So we asked you to give us 3 words that describe your current self. You said courageous. That the Webster says that is not deterred by danger or pain, or brave. You said worthy, deserving effort, attention, or respect. And you said outspoken, frank, stating one's opinion, especially if they're critical or controversial.
Right.
Yeah.
So, going from that, what made you decide to write your own script? And what type of script are you writing?
So I decided to write my own script because, a lot of times, we depend on other people to cast us for projects. We depend on, hey, if such and such can put me in their show, then I can shine. Well, why not shine on your own stuff? Why not create a platform? And that's what I was telling JR. My script is, I'm writing because I want to come back to Houston and cast. I don't want, you know, I, granted, I'll have a couple people from names that are already big in it. That's my desire. That's my goal. But I want to cast and put people on that are from Houston, actresses and actors that I have come up with, that I've done plays and movies with, that I had a chance to see what they are capable of. I think I was watching Kevin Hart's documentary, and he was talking about the people that he came up with and people who had his back no matter what. And it's like you gotta bring people up. If you know somebody that's trying to, break out, and you doing something big, and help somebody. It ain't gonna hurt for everybody to shine. And so what I want to do is finish my script, which is it's almost done, and I do have a director located in Houston already, that I want to direct this particular project. But I do want to cast in Houston, and I do want to film in Houston. So that's my desire, have people like you guys in the project. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I
So
want
let me tell you something. Courtney and I are writing the play, right?
to. Uh-huh.
And as we were writing the play, we kind of keep in our head who we want to play in the play, who the actors. Courtney was like, I really want Nicole in this play. And we were talking about the fact that you don't live in Houston anymore and that you live in Georgia, and how hard that would be.
Uh-huh.
Crazy part is the script is closely related to the story that you told us earlier.
Wow. Wow.
So it's like at this point, that's a sign to me.
It's
And
just
I don't care how we
confirmation.
got to make it happen, but we're
Wow.
trying to make it happen.
It has to happen. It has to happen because I don't believe in things just, happening coincidentally. Truly believe in divine purpose and destiny. And the fact that we've been knowing each other all of these years, we had this story that we've been writing for years, and we've been knowing you and didn't know your story, and then actually decided that we wanted you to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's not by coincidence.
Wow.
We got to
Wow.
make this happen. We
Okay.
have to make this happen.
Well, y'all know I'm down. Y'all know I'm down. Y'all cast me in my first movie ever. That was my first movie
Yeah.
ever. So I was excited. So I got y'all. Let me know. Let me know definitely. But I'm definitely down. I am set to wrap up everything with my script here in the next month or two. And then I do have a meeting in Houston in regards to that. But my show it's a period piece. So it's set back in 1960s, 1970s. So, and about the story of my mom's life. My mom was in a female quartet group. She traveled a lot. She sung with a lot of people, and her and my aunts sung with a lot of legends that we know today. Even in the process of her doing all of that, she still traveled and sung, and she was a powerhouse. And so this story is a story about her life as in her upbringing, dealing with her, the musician crew, and being in her group with her cousins and her brothers and things like that. So it's a think Dream Girls, Temptations, 5 Heartbeats. Think that.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Like,
I know.
that's
I'm
crazy.
so proud of you.
Right, and to be able to do something, it's kind of like a dedication to your mom. It's nice.
Yes. So what happened to make you notice your self-worth? Because now, we can see from your past, knowing you in your future, we can see that there's There's a complete difference.
Yeah.
There was a transformation there. So what made you notice your self-worth?
I think what made me notice it was after I had my daughters. I couldn't remain a victim, because had I did that, I think I would have tainted them as kids, as women. So I knew I had to overcome a lot of things, a lot of hurt in my past, and mind you, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily struggle, but I knew at some point, I had to say, listen, God, look, because at one point I was damaging a lot of people that I was running into. I was damaging, their father, and everybody. I was just rude and mean and just bitter. And I knew I couldn't remain like that and then consider myself speaking to women and being on this platform, and knew that I was just tore up on the inside. I knew I couldn't do that. But like I say, granted, you deal with daily challenges, but if you know your worth, I had a breakdown today a little bit. I don't know if y'all seen Facebook today. I had to delete that status. I was like, being rejected, by my biological father, and him not wanting to be a part of my life, and him, coming in when he see me on TV or see me doing something, and then he'll say, hey, he'll call and say, I'm proud of you this, but you don't take the time to even check and see how I'm doing, until you see that. And so, just valuing yourself, man. I can't speak life into somebody if I'm lifeless,
Right. So I guess you would say that that's kind of the same things that made you courageous and
Mm-hmm.
worthy and outspoken like you are today.
Mm-hmm.
You're known as a media correspondent and a radio host and an actress.
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a part of the entertainment industry? And well, you kind of answered that, but how did these opportunities start to come about?
I started doing stage plays in Houston. And I started, I knew I always wanted to do it. Of course, I was a singer, praise and worship leader for a period of years in Houston. And I started getting into stage plays, wanted to do that. And then by the time I met you guys, I think I had did about 4 or 5 stage plays. And then I started, and you guys were my first movie, which was Love Is. No, the play. First was the play. So it was part of the play, and then was Love Is, the movie came. I just doing that, and then I decided back in 2014 that I was going to venture out. I had did a acting workshop in Houston with Tommy Ford. Tommy from Martin came to Houston to do an acting workshop, and I had a chance to take that class, and he told me that if I was serious, I should move to Atlanta. And I pondered on it a little bit. But then Tyrese posted a video one day, and he was like, you claim you want to be this actress, you claim you want to do this. And he was just talking in general. And he said, you got to go where it is. You can't think you're going to get a Hollywood role and you're in smack dead in the middle of Shreveport, Louisiana, where nobody films there. They're not doing anything there. He said, you got to step out.
Girl, man, you know I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, don't you? Was that a dig?
It was not. Vince, listen, my grandmother is from, my dad's mom is from.
Oh.
So I got family from there. But no, he was just saying that. And so to me, that was like a signal, or like a sign for me to go. And I ended up coming to Atlanta. When I got here to Atlanta, I was here for 3 days, and I got a phone call from Tyler Perry Studios, and they wanted me on a show, which was For Better or Worse. I thought that was going to be 1 episode. I ended up doing 4 seasons, playing a salon stylist on the show in Tasha Smith's salon. And from there, it's just kind of went, it was like a domino effect. I started casting stuff on TV One and ID and Adult Swim. I just landed something right now. I don't know if you guys seen the trailer, but a show called Cracker. So I'll be a part of that particular cast, and I can't really talk about who's all in it right now, but it is some people that we love and we have grew up watching, and it's gonna be really amazing.
Yeah, I saw something
Wow.
about that.
Me
Mhm.
I saw
too.
something about Cracker.
Yep.
For some reason, I did not check. I never clicked on the link, but the visual caught my eye, and for some reason, I still went past it. Now I gotta go look at this trailer.
Oh yeah, it's
'Cause,
on my and it's also on my Facebook page. So
okay, I will be checking that out.
it,
So, how was it working for Tyler Perry Studios?
Tyler was awesome. Tyler is awesome. I think Tyler does a lot for the community, but to work on set with him, to me, it was just to see him gather everybody every morning. He acts like Madea, like girl down to earth. A lot of people, a lot of people be talking bad about Tyler, but Tyler's heart is in the right place. And to see the camera guy and the DP and the AD and the PAs and the extras and the actors and all of us grab hands in the morning and pray down before we hit the set. That's amazing to me. To have, a whole cafeteria where, it's not one person above the next. I don't care if you the star of the show or you an extra, everybody eat together, so I feel like, to me, he's an amazing guy. As me working with him, I think he was awesome, and I look forward to working with him again.
Right. I always say I love Tyler Perry for that hustle and employing the community and just everything he's doing. And then I'm just seeing show after show after show after show and movie after movie. I'm like, this man ain't sleeping. Like he is spending his quarantine time doing some things.
Right.
So Nicole, what if someone said that being outspoken doesn't look good on a Black woman and it come across as being an angry Black woman? I want you to look right into your camera and respond to them.
Okay. So being a outspoken Black woman, how y'all feel about that? Let me tell you something. Nobody has been through the hell that Black women have been through since day one. So miss me with that. We can't be outspoken. We can't say what the hell is on our mind, because guess what? This one gonna say what is on her mind. And I don't give a damn what nobody say. Listen, been through too much, going through too much, and will triumph over everything. But what somebody will not do is make me shut the fuck up. And that's real. That's real. You can take it as being aggressive. You can take it as being arrogant. You can take it as being rude. But everybody else in every other culture can say what they want to say in their fashion. But Black women, I think when we speak, we make hell shake. And that's what intimidates a lot of people. Ain't nobody hush mouth over here. So that's how I feel. I'm going to say how I feel. And if you don't like it, you can kiss the grits. You understand what I'm saying?
That's well, that's that on
That's
that.
that on that. I love it.
Me and Courtney was talking about how Black women get things done. And I was talking about when I had a financial aid situation my freshman year, and I was trying to be grown and handle it myself. And finally, they talking about dropping me from my classes. And when I told my mama, she called up there in one phone call. I've been going up there for weeks. One phone call, and she called me and was like, "Oh, you good? They gonna hold your classes till your money come through."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to learn that. Like that. That's just amazing.
Right. Won't she do it? Won't she do it?
Oh my God. So what sacrifices have you made to live in your truth? And how do you feel, or how do you deal with or internalize other people's perception of you living in your truth?
I try not to. I try not to let people's opinions of me living in my truth concern me. That has nothing. That's all on them. So if they have a problem with it, they got to take it up with them. You know.
I expected that answer from you. I just, if you would have said something different, I would have been shocked.
So, what are some steps that you intend to take throughout your life's journey to remain consistent in that truth? Make sure you don't go falling back to who you used to be.
I wouldn't fall back there, because it also comes with walking in your truth comes, it comes a stage where it has to have some maturity to it. You know, you have to be mature to walk in your truth. You have to be conscious of who you are, and you have to validate yourself in all things to stay walking in your truth. And you know, if you have people around you, your circle has to value you, and they have to know your worth. So surround your people. You only as valuable as your top 5. Look at your top 5. And if your top 5 is solid, there's no way you can go back to the old you.
Let me see. Mama, Shayla, Courtney, Jayla,
It's just your circle. It could be your top 4 or your top 3. But do they elevate you? They gotta elevate you.
Right. I was like, I might have one more. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting you. Yeah, you. You do that. That way they all feel like you're talking about them.
So full of crap.
Yep.
So describe a moment that you failed terribly in.
Describe a moment where I failed terribly in. A moment where I failed terribly in. I would have to say, dang, and I know I got some fuck ups. Listen.
I'm gonna share a story, so you can go ahead and think of yours.
Okay.
And so, I remember it was like the other day. I was teaching my summer class, and it's virtual. And I'm like, they do experience circles every morning where they write down experiences that they remember or something new that they went through, and then they write down something that they saw, heard, or did. So I was like, hey, does anyone want to share an experience that they remember very vividly? And the little girl says, when my mom and dad got divorced. And I said, oh, good, great.
Oh.
But I meant good, great. She answered the question. I didn't mean that good, great, they got a divorce, and then I couldn't fix it. It was just like this awkwardness. I was like, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got
so
it.
yeah, I missed the mark on that one.
It's special. It's special.
I would say, I wouldn't say fail terribly. I would say I wasn't knowledgeable enough to know what I had, and that would be, you know, I got married at 18, and you know, to the girl's dad, and not knowing the value of a good man. You know, not saying that I wasn't a good woman, but not knowing that, just, you know, getting married because you're afraid, you're young, you know, you're pressured into doing something, but at the same time growing apart from someone, but not noticing their worth, all, you know, and putting your flaws of your past on them. And I think I did that a lot with this particular young man. And it's mendable, you know, I believe, but I think it had I took another route, I think it would have been different.
Right. So what would your current self, grown woman Nicole, tell childhood Nicole?
Chin up. Chin up. You're not alone. And remain a fighter. And don't never let anything silence you. I think that's what grown woman Nicole would tell childhood Nicole. You know?
All right. Well, on the Birth and Truth podcast, we like to make sure that we provide a platform where you get fully free. So with that being said, do you have anything else that you would like to address?
No.
Cool. Well, thanks, Nicole. She's thinking. My bad.
Okay, anything else I want to address? Let me get this off my chest real quick. I'm gonna give y'all.
Let it out.
Okay. So, you know, it's about my new little job, right? Let me just go and get this off. I hate it here. I hate the people. I hate the pissy area. I hate the residents. I hate them. You know, I ain't never seen motherfuckers that don't know how to put trash in a trash can. Put it in a trash can.
Oh my God.
I ain't seen nobody listen. I done moved to the side of Decatur. Okay. I had to coach this woman that she couldn't lay her ass in the street the other day and go to sleep in the middle of this busy intersection. Get up, slide over to the grass, and take your ass to sleep. Okay, I get it. She was high. That's cool. I'm just not used to that. Okay, then these little children out here the other day, I ain't gonna say little children. They was 15. Okay. Got some lighter fluid, put it in the parking lot, took a lighter, and tried to light the goddamn. I said, I wish you would. I yelled so hard from I wish you would. You're not gonna blow my car up. You're not gonna blow me up. And you're not gonna blow my damn car up. You kill yourself, but you ain't gonna do it for me. You ain't gonna kill me and all these other residents. We ain't got nothing to do with this. So hey, I wasn't gonna call the police on them because I was like, you know what, cops, you know, it's iffy right now, you know, and I don't want them to lose their little lives. But you know, playing with fire, that ain't good. Lighter fluid, it's just a different atmosphere. Y'all keep me lifted over here with this community because I'm really, really thinking about going back to my old job. I ain't had nobody to admit to, so hey.
Listen, God gonna make a way. You might not even need those jobs anymore. God is gonna make a way. You okay? God gonna make a way.
All right. Well, thanks, Nicole, for giving birth. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank y'all. I was nervous at first. I was like, what they got up their sleeve? Right. But I love it. Thank y'all. And y'all got to keep it up. Y'all have to keep it up. Keep it going. Keep the momentum going. You guys are special anyway. And like I told Courtney before you got on, y'all always have been authentic and different to me. And you guys have so much talent. Y'all have so much drive. And y'all, this podcast is going to be real, real huge. So keep it up. If there's any assistance that I can help y'all with, let me know.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
We appreciate that. That means a lot, Nicole, for real. Thank you so much.
Y'all are welcome.
So give everybody your social media information so they can keep in touch and be ready to audition for that play. Is it a play or is it a movie? I don't think we asked you that.
It's a movie, huh?
It's a movie script, right?
My script, it's a series, so
okay.
Netflix, you know.
Oh, speak it into existence, girl. Manifest it.
Yeah.
Manifest it. Go ahead and get that social media information so people know how to get in touch with you.
I am on Instagram at actress Nicole Crump. I'm on Facebook at Nicole Crump, and my website is www.nicolecrump.com.
Cool. Well, we want to thank y'all for watching. Shout out to Still Visionary Inc., who produced
Woo!
our show. Shout out to John Ross, JR. That's our homie.
Awesome.
We are the Birth and Truth podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can tweet us at Birthing Truth.
And if you'd like to be a guest on Birth and Truth Podcast, email us at birthandtruthpodcast@gmail.com.
Stay tuned for episode 7. That's a divine number. Stay tuned.